Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to the YouTube channel of PRATHAM Test Prep. Myself Jui Sharma, and here we are with yet another current affairs session which covers the news from the 25th of May to the 26th of May. So basically in this particular session we will be covering up the important current affairs that had happened, important news that had happened from the 26th to the 26th of May. So for all of those who are new on this channel, who are new to this video, let me tell you that we at PRATHAM Test Prep, we do current affairs sessions on every Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. right? So at 6 p.m. we do current affairs sessions on Monday, Wednesday and Fridays. So you can log into PRATHAM Test Prep's YouTube channel, you can subscribe to PRATHAM Test Prep's YouTube channel, and you can have access to the live video lectures. In case you are unable to watch the live video lectures, you can also go to the current affairs playlist, which is there on PRATHAM Test Prep's YouTube channel, and therein you will get all the important current affairs sessions that we have conducted previously. So without wasting too much of time, let's quickly see what all are the important news that had happened in the 25th and 26th of May. So the very first news we have is Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated India's biggest drone festival at Pragati Maidan. Right now, this is an important news that India का biggest drone festival जो है वो inaugurate किया किसने, has been inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he inaugurated it where? He inaugurated it in the Pragati Maidan. Right. So what you need to what is the important takeaway from this particular news is that this biggest drone festival, right, was a part of Bharat Drone Mahotsav 2022, right? So this biggest drone festival was a part of Bharat Drone Mahotsav 2022, which was being conducted in Pragati Maidan. Now 70 exhibitors, right, they have displayed, or they basically they have been planned to display the various use case of drones at the exhibition, right? So we all know that we are today in this day and age, drone is something which is very fascinating, right? So this India's biggest drone festival, which was conducted under the Bharat Drone Mahotsav 2022, was conducted at Pragati Maidan, wherein 70 exhibitors, they will show the various use cases of drones at the exhibition, as in how and what all ways can drones be used. Okay, now a lot of government officials, a lot of foreign diplomats, people from the armed forces, people from the Central Armed Police Force, right, a lot of drone startups also, they are expected to participate in this drone festival. So basically there will be over 1600 delegates which will be there in this particular drone festival, which is being conducted under the Bharat Drone Mahotsav 2022 and at the Pragati Maidan, right? Now, basically the government, basically this festival is being held because of what? Because the government is extensively pushing the use of drones in various fields like health, like agriculture, right? And basically the government, the central government, it is planning to boost the indigenous demand for drone services. Okay, and if you know, in this particular month also, in earlier, I think the initial week of May, our civil aviation minister, whose name is Jyotirajaditya Scindia ji, he has also released a drone experience studio at the Niti Aayog, wherein he unveiled 2 policies, and those 2 policies include Drone Shakti and Kisan Drone, right? Now we all know what is the full form of Niti Aayog. The full form of Niti is National Institution for Transforming India, Aayog, right? It is National Institution for Transforming India, Aayog, right? This is the full form of Niti. And what is Niti Aayog? This is Government of India's policy think tank, right? So again, memorizing all the important pointers, that who was or where did this India's biggest drone festival got conducted. It will get conducted in Pragati Maidan, right? 70 exhibitors will display their various use of drones at the exhibition. This exhibition will include a lot of government officials, foreign diplomats, armed forces, Central Armed Police Force, everybody, and even the Civil Aviation Minister had already, you know what, they have already unveiled the two policies related to this, that is Drone Shakti and Kisan Drone. Now, moving further to the next important news of which had happened in these 2 days is Uttarakhand became the first state to roll out drone in healthcare. Now, we know that earlier this month, as I've already told you, that our civil aviation minister, he has released two policies, and Uttarakhand now has become the first state that they have started rolling out drone services in the healthcare sector too, right? So now, if they ask you that which is the first Indian state, okay, to roll out the drone services in the healthcare sector, it is Uttarakhand. Okay, you have to mark Uttarakhand as it has become the first Indian state to roll out the drone services in the healthcare sector. Now, this first commercial drone flight in the country's healthcare sector, right, it was basically done by which laboratories? It was basically done by a unit of Redcliffe LifeTech in the US, right, and the name of the lab is Redcliffe Labs. So Redcliffe Labs, which is a unit of the Redcliffe LifeTech in the US, they have come up basically with this first commercial drone flight, which will roll out, which have been announced to roll out in Uttarakhand in the healthcare sector, right? So what is important? The name of Redcliffe Labs is super important, right? Now, you need to know that this particular drone corridor, because drones, they can't fly drones everywhere and anywhere, right? So this company, it has opened its first commercial drone corridor where they have opened up between Uttarkashi and Dehradun. So particularly between Uttarkashi and Dehradun, they have opened up a commercial drone corridor wherein they'll be able to use drone in the healthcare sector, right? Now, they have been actually doing a lot of trials, and these trials were successful. These trials were even successful in the northern parts of India. And this project, this drone project, it is basically a part of Redcliffe and the Sky Air Tire, right? This is a part of Redcliffe and the Sky Air Tire. And in the past 3 months, 40 successful trials have been done in northern parts of India. Okay, 40 successful trials have been done in northern parts of India, and this first commercial drone corridor, it has been opened up between Uttarkashi and Dehradun. Now, this Redcliffe Labs, they have delivered the 5 kg of payload in the temperature control boxes, right? So basically, they carry boxes, the temperature control boxes are there because we know that injections or medicines, they are required to be kept in a certain temperature, right? Under certain temperature conditions, these such things are required to be kept. So the Redcliffe lab, they have actually delivered 5 kg payload in the proper temperature controlled boxes, right? And from Uttarkashi to Dehradun, which is actually the commercial drone corridor, and the aerial distance of it is 60 kilometers. So imagine 60 kilometers a drone is carrying a temperature control boxes may load of 5 kilograms, right? And this particular company, Redcliffe Lab, they are actually aiming to reach 500 million Indians by the year 2027. Okay. Now, two important takeaways from this particular news. Number one, who is the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand? So the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand is Pushkar Singh Dhami. And second important thing is, who is the founder of Redcliffe Labs? जिसका नाम बार बार आ रहा है, and ये Redcliffe Labs ही हैं जिन्होंने ये जो first drone जो roll out किया है in the healthcare sector in Uttarakhand, which made Uttarakhand the first Indian state to actually use drone in the healthcare sector. So the founder of Redcliffe Labs is Dheeraj J. Okay, so that is all which is important in this particular news. Moving on to the next important news of the day, we have Captain Abhilasha Barak became the first women officer to join Army Aviation Corps as the combat aviator. Now, what is Army Aviation Corps, right? So, Army Aviation Corps is a component of Indian Army, right? It is a part of Indian Army basically, and this was established in the year 1986. Okay, so what is Army Aviation Corps? Army Aviation Corps is the component of Indian Army only, which was established in November 1986, right? And in this particular Army Aviation Corps, which as I told you is a component of Indian Army, in this particular aviation corps, Captain Abhilasha Barak, she has been appointed as the combat aviator, okay? And she has become the first woman to join the Army Aviation Corps as the combat aviator. Now, we know that whenever there are the news which are related to first, longest, largest, those news in itself, they become important, right? So Abhilasha Barak has become the first woman to join the Army Aviation Corps as what? As the combat aviator. Okay. Now, what is Army Aviation Corps? As I've told you, it is a component of Indian Army. Established in which year? Established in the year 1986. But immediately it was inducted into Operation Pavan, right? And what is Operation Pavan? Operation Pavan was actually the crucial test for the newly formed corps. So जितने भी आपके newly formed corps होते हैं उनका एक crucial test होता है, that was Operation Pavan. So basically this was immediately inducted into what? Into Operation Pavan, right? Now you might think that what does these Army Aviation Corps do, right? So basically they help in the evacuation of troops, they help in the evacuation process in the operations, they help in health emergencies in the high altitude areas, right? So whenever there is any health emergency, whenever there is any operation going on and evacuation is required for the injured troops or the injured, the operation, the people who are injured in such operations. So these Army Aviation Corps, they basically provide what? They basically provide their help in such high altitude areas, right? So that is actually the work of these Army Aviation Corps, which is an extended version of the component of the Indian Army, okay? Now these the choppers in these aviation corps, they are actually also used for casualty evacuation. As I've told you, they are used for the observation process too, for rescuing the people, the injured, right, and the essential load drops. So basically, what is the important takeaway? Number one, who has been appointed or who was the first woman Army officer to join Army Aviation Corps as a combat officer? That is Captain Abhilasha Barak, right? So that is important in this particular news. And what is Army Aviation Corps? It is the component of Indian Army, basically, which looks out for the evacuation of the injured troops during what? During the health emergencies or operations. And in which year this Army Aviation Corps was established? It was established in the year 1986. Now, moving further to the next news, we have Kolkata became the first metro city to get its own biodiversity register. Yes. Now, if they ask you that which is the first metro city to have a biodiversity register, that is Kolkata. Okay. Now you may think that what is this biodiversity register? So biodiversity register is basically a detailed document, right, which actually includes all the information related to the biodiversity of that particular region or the particular city. Okay, that what are the varieties of flora and fauna, available, or flora and fauna which are there in that particular area or in that particular city, right? Apart from that, what is the land use of the particular city? What are the human activities which are being conducted in that particular city? So the detailed analysis, or it is a register, it is a document which consists of everything in detail related to biodiversity, right? So Kolkata has become the first metro city to get a biodiversity register, right? And it is the first city in the country to prepare a detailed register of biodiversity. And who has released it? This has been released by the Kolkata Municipal Corporation, right? And this municipal corporation, they have released what? They have released a people's biodiversity register, right? They have released a people's biodiversity register, which includes what? That includes all the details about the flora and fauna which are found in the particular city, how the land is being used, what the human activities which are being taking place in that particular area, right? Now you might think that who prepares this register, right? Who prepares this people biodiversity register? So this register is prepared by BMC, which is the Biodiversity Management Committee, right? This BMC is the Biodiversity Management Committee, which is actually a body which is under the supervision of State Biodiversity Board. Okay. So what is BMC? BMC is Biodiversity Management Committee. It is a civic body actually, which falls under what? This falls under the supervision of the State Biodiversity Board. Now, of course, they get some help from the NGOs too, from the non-governmental organizations too. But basically, overall, this particular committee prepares this biodiversity register. Now, you might think that Kolkata is the only city in India to have such a register. So the answer is no. Actually, Chandigarh and Indore are also two other important cities which have prepared their own document, their own such document. So it is not only Kolkata. Kolkata is basically the first metro city, but apart from Kolkata, there is Chandigarh and Indore too, who have their own similar kind of registers. Now, if I have to tell you about Kolkata, there are total 520 pages, which includes a lot of information, like there are 138 species of trees, 26 types of Chinese vegetable, 33 species of medicinal plants, and about 100 other plant species. So these are basically the, what all are there present in the biodiversity. These are few of the examples of it. The number of pages of the register is not at all important, but what you need to know is the name of the register, that is People's Biodiversity Register. And number two, you need to know is that which civic body prepares this register. This is prepared by a Biodiversity Management Committee, which lies under the supervision of the State Biodiversity Board, right? Now, moving on to the next news of the day, we have India's first Olympic values education launched in Orissa. Now, I think we have done a similar news in one of the previous YouTube sessions too. Now, this Olympic value education program, right, which is known as OVEP, right? What is OVEP? OVEP is the Olympic Value Education Program. This is actually a program of what? This is actually a program of IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee, right? So this was launched in Orissa. This Olympic Value Education Program was launched in Orissa. And this was launched by whom? This was launched by the Chief Minister of Orissa, whose name is Naveen Patnaik. And he did a collaboration with Abhinav Bindra Foundation Trust, which is ABFT. And these, in collaboration, they have made what? They have this Olympic Value Education Program, right? Now, what is this value education program? Now, if you must be wondering, that value education is one subject to which we used to get taught when we were younger, right? When we were in school, they used to teach us a subject called value education, right? So this OVEP, right? What is this? This OVEP, that is the Olympic Value Education Program, is basically set of resources, right, which are aimed at introducing young people to the Olympic values of excellence, respect, and friendship. Basically, it is a curriculum. It is a value-based curriculum. It is a moral value-based curriculum, right, that needs to be implemented from the formative years only, from the initial years only, in the schools of Orissa, right, in 90 schools in Rourkela, in Bhubaneswar, which will cater about 2,000 students. So basically, this Olympic value education program is actually a set of resources which will add value-based curriculum in the schools in the formative years, only in the initial years, only in 90 schools in Rourkela and Bhubaneswar. Now, state of Orissa, they have basically intended to, improve this, or they have intended to include this OVEP in all the schools in the higher education institutions, so too, in obviously a phased manner, right? So that they can do what they can actually, add values into the young population. Okay. Now you need to know that who is the Director General of IOC, that is International Olympic Committee. It is Christopher D. Kepper. So Christopher D. Kepper is what? He is the Director General of International Olympic Committee. And moving on to the last news of the day, we have Ruskin Bond's titled "Listen to Your Heart," the London Adventure release. Now, this is an important book from the point of books and authors, right? Ruskin Bond is a very famous writer, and he has released his new book, and the title of his book is "Listen to Your Heart, the London Adventure." Right now, Ruskin Bond, as I have told you, he is India's famous children's book author, right? And on his 80th birthday, actually, this particular book, which was titled as "Listen to Your Heart, the London Adventure," was released. It was released, and this book was authored by Ruskin Bond. Now, whenever you are studying about any book, you need to know that this particular book was published by which publishing house. So it was published by the Penguin Random House India, which is known as PRHI, on the 88th birthday of Ruskin Bond, right? Now, basically, this book actually speaks about Ruskin Bond's years when he spent in England, right? So it gives the reader a peek into those 4 to 5 years what he spent in the Channel Islands and England. And basically that is actually the plot of this particular book. Now, telling you about some little thing about Ruskin Bond is that, number one, he's a famous children book author. He was born in Kasauli. Yes, in Kasauli, Himachal Pradesh is the birthplace of Ruskin Bond. But he was brought up in Jamnagar, in Dehradun, in Delhi, in Shimla, a lot of places he was brought up. And this was all about Ruskin Bond that we need to know. Also, as I've already told you, that this book gives reader actually a peek into those 4 years which he spent in England. And the name of the book is what? The name of the book is "Listen to Your Heart, the London Adventure," and this was released on the 88th birthday of Ruskin Bond. And with this, we have covered all the important news that had happened in the past 2 days. Thank you so much, guys, for staying tuned. Keep smiling. If you are new to this channel, subscribe to Pratham Test Prep. I'm sure you will get notified to a lot of videos, to a lot of live sessions, right, which are very, very helpful for you for your undergraduate entrances. And yeah, if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up, and it basically motivates all of us to go live every alternate or every day for you all and give you a lot of content. So thank you so much for staying tuned. I shall be seeing you super soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye.